Know you don't love me, cause you ain't the same whenever Jake's in town. I know you don't love me, cause you ain't the same when Kevin Smith's around. I know you don't love me. What's going on? How you feeling back? Yeah, I mean, we going hard today. Why not? You know what I'm saying? It's sunny outside. You know what I'm saying? It's just a good day to be alive, right? Gaslighting. Yeah, you know how you hear something, you say to yourself like, they always coming up with some kind of new term, some kind of new thing to say, some kind of whatever, you know what I mean? Or, maybe that's just like for little kids. And I had to look it up, right? Because I felt like, have I ever been have I ever been gaslit before? Or do you say, have I been gaslighted before? Who knows, either way. But, I was thinking to myself, I think that I have been. I said, but just let me, find out. So, as usual, as most of us do, we ask AI. So let's see what AI has to say about gaslighting. Gaslighting is a form of psychological manipulation where a person or a group causes someone to question their sanity, reality, or perceptions. It can also be difficult to recognize at first. The abuser tries to control the victim by making them doubt their own thoughts and feelings, often leading to confusion, anxiety, and a diminished sense of self. So I was thinking to myself, you know what? Because I think that that's a good place to always start. We need to start with ourselves. And I said to myself, have I ever gaslighted anybody? And I, listen to that definition. I have. And I have been guilty of it at times before, where you do. Because you're not necessarily telling the truth. You get caught cheating or doing something. You're not necessarily telling the truth unless you actually get caught. And then once you actually get caught, like in the act or with the person, by your other person, then you have to come up with some excuse, right? But when you don't get caught red-handed, as they say, what do? You lie, you scheme, you tell other people, no, well, it's really not like that. And, I love you and, whatever. So I guess we're looking at gaslighting as just another way of, like they said in the beginning, psychological or mental manipulation of a person. So I had to think to myself, when's the last time somebody gaslighted me? Right? Because, I'm thinking to myself, I'm a G. So, I don't fall for this kind of stuff. And I remember one time, and I had to think about it, and I was like, "Yo!" Now I ain't gonna lie to you. I was kind of out of it, so I was in a lot of pain from an accident. So you know how it is. Sometimes your boy was a little oxied up and everything like that. But I was in the hospital, so it was done under care. So, and I remember I asked somebody, and I said, "Do you still do stuff with a certain person?" And like I said, this is a while ago, over a year ago. And I said, do you still, basically, let's just say if somebody had an ex, right? So somebody asks you, they say, hey, do you still sleep with your ex? Do you still mess with your ex? Now they give you the answer, Really? What do you think? And I sat there in my oxied up state and I said, okay, well, I guess since she seemed so sincere about it, I guess, does that mean no? So I just took it for that at the time, right? I just took it as, okay, no. So, you know what I mean? I'm like, hum-de-dum-de-dum-de-dum. So, as I started getting more clearer, my thoughts became clear. I started to say, well, wait a minute. Guess what never happened? I'll give y'all a second to think what never really happened, though. I never really got an answer. One way or another, I never got the answer. Are you still sleeping with him? That's a crazy question for you to ask me. Really? So I started thinking back to myself. I was like, wait a minute. Yo. I mean, maybe it was because I was messed up or whatever, but I let Shorty off the hook because she never answered the question. So really could have been like, really, like, listen, I deal with the boys, so of course I do. Or really, like, why would you look at me as a woman like that if I'm dealing with you? And I never got the answer. So I guess effectively that was one situation, and that person, she may not even know what gaslighting really means. Maybe she does. But the thing is that I got gas lit. And it's okay because it's been over a year, so I can talk about it now. But the thing is that be careful of how and what people say to you, and make sure that you get a definitive answer as to what a person is talking about. Do not let things continue to be ambiguous. All right. You have to know what people are talking about. And when people are talking to you about anything, I mean, relationships are cool and all that other kind of stuff. But, I need a clear understanding of what you're saying. If you are still dealing with that other person, I need to hear you say, yes, I'm dealing with that other person. I don't need to hear a really. I don't need to hear that. Just say, yo, this is what the situation is. I deal with the other person. Okay, I still do business with this other person. Whatever the case may be, make sure that the person does that. Don't let a person leave you on some, making you think that you're bonkers, that there's something going wrong with you. No, I want to know for sure, what are you saying? What are you talking about? So I know they came up with a different word. I don't even know how the word even came into existence. I know I've been hearing it for like the last 4 or 5 years or whatever. And I was going to cover it a couple weeks ago. But I was thinking to myself, like, I just got to talk about this because it's like, I'm sure, like I said, I've done it before and you probably have done it before. But just make sure that whatever situation you are in, you clearly understand what's going on. And see, a lot of times we do understand what's going on. We just don't like that it's going on. Or we think that a person is going to change because, here we go again, they'll tell you they love you. They tell you they care about you. They'll tell you that they're with you. They'll tell you, oh my God, you're the one. You're my shining star. You're my soulmate. And then you start thinking to yourself, okay, well, I am like soulmate worthy, but then you got to start questioning and saying, did I just get gaslit or gaslighted or gaslightning? Because how many other guys she tells the same story to? I had to learn that before, like I've said before at my old job, where you think that you're the only one getting that good morning handsome text message. You think you're the only one getting that what you doing today text message. No, dog. It's like you might be in the rotation, but a lot of times, unless it's something that you feel is exclusive that you've been in, you're just one of a few. Ain't nothing special about you. As somebody told me earlier this year, ain't nothing special about you. You know what I mean? And I had to think about it. And I had to say, well, Dad, I found out from somebody I'm not special. I found out by somebody else that I was their soulmate, but I guess I was just on soul plane because they sold me that dream. And then when I ask another one a certain question, I just get really. But really, y'all, you know how this goes. Tell me in the comments how you feel. Have you ever been gaslit, gaslighted, gaslightning, or whatever? Has that ever happened to you? Or are you the gaslighter? Are you always the one selling somebody a dream? Are you always the one talking that ish but can't back it up? Because, I know, like I said, in my younger years, different years, you get kind of into that. But as you grow, hopefully, and mature, and we all get older, you see things from a different perspective. And it's not always to be manipulative to people, right? But can't front. Still at these big old ages, I run into women all the time, and a lot of time it's the same goofball stuff. Really? Live life. Don't let life live you.